toward financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Sana Mashedy with Reape-Rickett Law Firm has been giving us great background on what you can expect if you are going into mediation. So we'll touch a little bit. We'll finish up on the mediation page, but let's talk about what they can expect if they go to court regarding either divorce situation or child custody, because that's not a pretty place.
It depends on what side you're on, right?
Well, I think for either side, it's going to be stressful and it's going to be expensive.
No, it's definitely expensive and stressful. But there are so many steps before you actually get to court. You have to fill out the paperwork, and then if you have a good attorney, then they're going to try to feel out the other side, see what the issues are. So you really want to focus in and find out, is the issue child custody, or have the parties already agreed on the child custody issue, and the issue is really the sale of a home, a community property asset. So you really want to find out what the issue is and go to court for that issue. And if you have a good attorney, again, they are going to talk to the other party or talk to the other attorney on the other side and narrow those issues down before you get into court. So that would be a precursor to stepping into the door.
How long would it take to even get to court these days if you were either a divorce or having to deal with child custody?
I mean, at least 30 days. If you're for divorce or child custody, at the very least 30 days, if not more. It depends courtroom to courtroom. And our court system is so backed up.
That's what I hear all the time.
Sometimes I'll go into court and there'll be like 17, 18 matters on for the morning time, which is from 8:30 to 12. And so, I mean, I might have a very simple issue. For example, I want to have this home sold for the parties, and I'm sitting there all morning, 4 hours, waiting to have that issue heard. Yes, correct. Well, and it's expensive. It's expensive for the client. So does the client want to go down that path? How, you have to educate the client. How much is that house going to be sold for? Is it going to be worth the attorney's fees you're paying in turn for it? What are you going to do with the money, et cetera, et cetera. So it's something you really want to talk about.
Well, what's nice is your firm, Reape-Rickett Law Firm, every time I talk to either Jim Reape or David Rickett or Sana Mashedy, as in you, you guys always talk about what's enlightening the clients on true things. Everybody thinks that an attorney just wants to throw you into court and collect as much money as possible. What's really nice is all the time when I speak with you guys always talk about avoiding that whenever possible. You think that all attorneys are sharks. That's why I love your firm. I love your people because they're real. I love joking around with Jim. He's a funny dude.
Yes.
And David's so passionate about it, and you're so sweet. You guys are real people, not sharks that they talk about. So that's who you really want to talk to when you're talking about your children or having a difficult situation such as splitting up assets with a future ex-wife and eliminating emotion to actually accomplish your real goals.
Right. And when it comes to child custody, for example, the court standard is what is in the best interest of the child. Now, this is if you're going into court for the first time on a child custody issue. What is in the best interest of the child? Now, I may think that the best interest of the child is to stay with me 100% of the time.
There you go. Here's where it starts.
But the court may think that it's in the best interest of the child to be with mom and dad equally. So it's really not what I want. And
they may be just protecting the child, too, because you don't know what's really splitting up the couple, maybe. There could be issues that could affect the child.
Right. I mean, okay, so if I'm with my husband and we're sitting down for dinner, my son might say, mama this, mama that, mama this, mama that. But if I'm not there, if I'm removed from the picture, he's going to go to his dad. And what a lot of the times what the client sees is that one-sidedness or that gravitating towards one parent all the time. And so when they split, they believe that it's in the best interest of the child to stay with them only and not the other parent. That's not necessarily the case.
Right.
Right.
Okay, that's good information. And I love that. The one thing that all of you out there need to really think about is when you're going through this situation, if you can possibly go through mediation, we talk about that a lot, because your goal is to eliminate, let's just say the cost of money that could go to you and your child, the money that could go to you to deal with a divorce situation. I mean, you're going on your own. As opposed to going to an attorney, meaning I've seen it before, I'm guarantee you've seen it, where the assets actually just all get drained up in court as opposed to going to either party.
And I think our firm does a really good job of making sure that, that doesn't happen, or at least educating the client on multiple occasions through email, through telephone, and letting the client know, this is what's happening, and we believe that it's in your best interest to settle on these and these terms, and this is most likely what the court is going to do in the end anyway. Mm-hmm.
And I love that you mentioned earlier, and in case you didn't hear this, what's really cool about Reape-Rickett Law Firm and Santa Mashedy is that you guys have so much experience with the court systems and the judges that depending on what judge is handling your case, you have a pretty good idea how they're going to look at it, correct?
I think most of the judges I've encountered are fair, reasonable, articulate. I haven't really had the opportunity to see anything otherwise. And if you just take the law and you see how it's been interpreted by the case law, and take statutes and see how those statutes have been interpreted by case law, you can really just make the argument for yourself. And if it's our job to educate the client about what the case law is and what the statutes are, and let them for themselves then make a very educated decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want to be able to have somebody on your behind you, and maybe it's just a consultation to see if this is what your options are and stuff, I suggest you talk to Santa Mashedy over at Reape-Rickett Law Firm. Easy for me to say. And they're just good people and stuff. How can they get a hold of you, Santa?
Our number is 661-288-1000, and you can look at our website at thedivorcedigest.com and get all the information from there.
They should like you on Facebook. You guys always have great information.
We do, and we have articles on Facebook as well. Yes, different articles on different topics, from domestic violence to prenuptial agreements, what we talked about last time. Mm-hmm. And you can get a lot of information just from those articles, and you can decide from there how you want to proceed.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Well, Sana, always good information.
Thank you so much.
And you're going to take over my job now. You're so comfortable, but it's because you're passionate about what you do and you love what you do.
I love what I do.
I know
and I love
you do.
working at where I'm working right now. So.
Well, thank you for the great advice as always. You can always find out all this information by going to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. There's so much information there. Like us on our Facebook page. We have some good stuff too at donandgino.com, or the National Real Estate Cafe is another great Facebook page to check out. Mm-hmm. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And everyone out there, we really hope that you have a great Saturday. Enjoy the football games tomorrow, and we'll be with you next Saturday. Be good humans.